So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this live session by Drishti IAS. As usual, we'll be taking a look at Indian Express. We'll see the important articles of the day, we'll discuss them and then we will have some practice questions for you. And we'll start with the practice question which was given to you in the last class. There was one question related to mains which was yet to be discussed. So we will discuss at the end of the class. But let's start with the practice question. Okay, before that I would like to like you to have a look at the front page of the newspaper. Here you can see, hold on. Okay, so here you can see this is the front page here. There was this important news. World looks at India as an important pillar of stability, says PM Modi. So at Gujarat, Vibrant Gujarat Summit, PM Modi inaugurated the summit and then he has given address to the all the people who are attending. There are various countries who are also attending this particular summit, and as of now, this is the, you can say, biggest global trade fair, or you can say a place where all the countries, all the people from our countries are getting together and deciding on the investment patterns and different new ideas. Okay, so that is one thing. This is for attracting the investments in the Gujarat. Okay, so destination, you can say that we are trying to make Gujarat as a destination for investments. Okay, then there is this another article which is related to your European Union's carbon tax. Okay, it was given somewhere here. Okay, so we will take that article as well. Other than that, all these articles are relatively political, so we will not get into it. Okay, so for today's newspaper, we will be discussing Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit, then India versus EU carbon tax. So basically here, this European Union carbon tax, which is to be started from 2026. Okay, and India is having some concern about it. So we will talk about that. India has raised this concern at WTO also. Okay, so we will talk about those concerns and why we are actually skeptical about this carbon tax. We will talk about that. Okay, then Maldives rose key issues. Okay, so basically Maldives has been in news for a while now. Maldives, the president of Maldives is right now in China. So with respect to that, Maldives has been in news. Other than that, also with the our Prime Minister going to Lakshadweep, and there was some incident on social media as well. So because of which the tension between India and Maldives has risen, and that is why we are kind of talking about this issue. This particular article can be a wholesome answer for your mains. Okay, so pay attention to that. Then we will discuss some world affairs, then an article for your own read, and practice questions. So let's see the last practice question which was given to you. In the context of Imphal Valley, consider the following statement. The Imphal Valley, Imphal Tampak or Manipur Valley, Manipur Tampak is located in the state of Manipur. As I told you, this Tampak or Tampak, as they are calling it in their local language, is basically a word which is used for valley. Okay, so here we are talking about Imphal Valley or Manipur Valley because INS Imphal has been commissioned. We have talked about that article. Okay, so with that respect, Manipur was in news because you can say that it was kind of naming this particular destroyer as a INS Imphal was some kind of tribute to contribution of Manipur in the independence war. Okay, so that is why Manipur has been used. Other than that, when we are talking about the situation or the violence which is going on in Manipur, that is why Manipur has been in news for like last 6-7 months. Other than that, recently the CM of Manipur has given a statement regarding the ST status of different communities there. They are saying that they will go for a review of it, because of which there are speculations that the violence over there may rise or the tension over there may rise. Okay, so that is why we have taken this question. Imphal Valley or Manipur Valley is located in the state of Manipur. We have discussed the map of Manipur and I told you somehow Manipur look like this. Okay, so in the center of the state, or the geographical territory of the state, we have a valley. Okay, that valley is basically your Imphal Valley or Manipur Valley. Okay, so that statement is correct. The Imphal river runs through the center of the valley and gives the entire valley its name. If you go through the map, so this statement is correct. Okay, there is this river flowing through this particular valley, because of which this valley gets its name as Imphal Valley. Okay, after that, capital city of Imphal is located in the Imphal Valley. Okay, the point here is that that is located at the center of the territory, you can say. Okay, then the hills surrounding surrounding the valley include Naga Hills in the north and Kuki Hills in the south. Okay, so that all statements are true. So option D would be your answer. Let's have a look at the map. When we are talking about the geographical territory, you can see we have discussed all the neighboring states, so that would be important. This map you should remember. And other than that, when we are talking about the hills, okay, so this area, you can see this brown area here is basically hills, and then this area here is valley. Since it's a valley, there are high chances that a river might cross across this particular valley, and that river is Imphal River, and that is why this valley is known as Imphal Valley. Okay, so when we are talking about the hills, okay, we know that it's the northern side, we have Nagaland, okay, and we have Naga community living here, and Naga hills are also present here. Okay, then we have discussed that this area here is basically belonging to inhabitation of Kukis. Okay, so that is why this area is known as Kuki Hills. Okay, so we have discussed that, and now our answer would be D. As we have seen, all statements are correct. Now moving forward with the first article of the day, that is, world looks at India as an important pillar of stability, says PM Modi. Okay, so green mobility to chips, vibrant Gujarat gets over 2 lakh crore investment pledges. So in that particular event, okay, we have got investment of 2 lakh crore in Gujarat. Okay, we know that there is a huge infrastructure building going on in Gujarat, and we have this gift city in Gujarat. Okay, so because of all these things, Gujarat is kind of a destination for investments. Okay, so that is one of the project of Mr. Modi only when he was in Gujarat, and in 2003 when he was chief minister over there, and he has started this particular summit. Okay, so here you can say, from the renewable energy to green mobility and semiconductor, top corporates led by Suzuki Motors and the Adani Group pledged investment worth rupees 2,38,200 crores in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the inaugural session of the 10th edition of Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit on Wednesday. Okay, so you have to remember the name. Second thing is that summit has happened at Gandhinagar, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Okay, so that is why this particular thing was in news. Let's have a look at the various things or various projects which has been discussed in this particular summit. There is this Dholera Special Investment Region. Okay, so Dholera is a place in Gujarat where we are going for a special investment region. Okay, and with that regard, we are getting investment in this particular summit for this special investment region as well. So that is one thing. Okay, and then we have a huge semiconductor fab in Dholera. So basically, India is trying to become, you can say, pioneer in manufacturing of semiconductors, and with that respect, we have this huge semiconductor fab or fabrication unit in Dholera, so that you can remember. Other than that, India's first gigafactory for manufacturing 20 gigawatt lithium ion batteries. Okay, that is in Sanand. Okay, so there is a place that is Sanand. Okay, so we have this particular 20 gigawatt lithium ion battery plant over there, so that is also important. Okay, they can individually ask you the location of these places. Okay, or other than that, Dholera is also important from a historical point of view, if you know that. Okay, then Dhirubhai Ambani Green Energy Giga Complex, it is in Jamnagar. Okay, it will be, actually all these are pipeline projects. Okay, world's largest green energy park in Khavda with 30 gigawatt capacity with an investment over rupees 2 lakh crore in the next 5 years. Okay, all these are pipeline projects which are to be started in Gujarat, and for that we have got this much investment over here. And you can remember all these names because these are important for you when we are talking about infrastructure building. Even quoting examples in your answer writing, you can remember all these things. Okay, here you can see this is related to your environmental or clean energy. Okay, this lithium ion battery is also related to your clean energy. Then when we are talking about this semiconductor, we are trying to become a manufacturing hub of these semiconductors and other electronic items. Okay, so that is why that becomes important. Other than on the sideline of this particular summit, there were few countries which has their bilateral meetings as well. One of them is UAE. Okay, so now they have talked about various areas of cooperation here. MOUs on developing food parks, cooperation in the renewable energy sector, investment in innovative healthcare, and UAE company has agreed to make several $billion worth of investment in port infrastructure Okay, then there is this UAE Sovereign Wealth Fund that will begin operation in the GIFT City. Okay, as I told you, we have a GIFT City in Gujarat. Okay, so that is why it becomes important. Here they are talking about the cooperation between UAE and India. If you can remember, all these areas, basically these are general areas. Most of your bilateral relationships have this in common, so you can remember that. And then GIFT City, which is in Gujarat. Then this Dholera Special Investment Region, it is also in Gujarat. When we are talking about semiconductor fabrication facility, it is in Dholera, Gujarat. Okay, and in Sanand we have this lithium-ion battery related plant, and here we have this green energy giga complex, which is to be made by Reliance Group at Jamnagar. Okay, so all these projects you can remember. So when we are talking about this particular summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the vibrant Gujarat Global Trade Show. Okay, 2024 in Gandhinagar, so that they can even ask in statement that where it happened. Okay, established in 2003 by then Chief Minister Narendra Modi, the summit aims to position Gujarat as the premier investment destination. So it is trying to make Gujarat as a investment destination. So that is why this summit becomes important. The vibrant Gujarat Global Trade Show is India's largest global trade exhibition. Okay, the area of focus in this particular event, or you can say 10th session of this particular summit, area of focus were electrical vehicles. Okay, we are talking about batteries, etc. here, and then automotive industries, green ports, renewable energy, semiconductors, and cyber security. All these are hot topics as of now. When we are talking about India, all these are hot topics, so that is why they are being considered in this particular summit. Okay, and investment projects has been started with respect to all these things. Now, second topic of the day was EU carbon tax. India flags risk of trade information getting compromised. So basically, European Union, which is a bloc of 27 members. Okay, earlier they used to have 28 members, then Brexit happened, and now they have 27 members. So all these European members, or 27 countries of this particular union, has come up with the carbon tax. Okay, so basically here you can see carbon border adjustment mechanism. So this is some kind of a way, or you can say a non-tariff barrier, wherein a product which is more carbon intensive would be rejected by all these countries from importing. Okay, so now the thing is, India is also exporting a lot of things to European Union. Our export out of our total export, 15% trade is with European Union, so that is a huge chunk. And then these laws, or you can say this carbon border adjustment mechanism, will act as a barrier. Okay, so that is why India is raising some concern about it. Okay, so let's have a look at it. India has flagged concern relating to the sensitive and confidential trade data of its exporter getting compromised while complying with the European Union's carbon border adjustment mechanism. So in this particular mechanism, what European Union is saying that under this mechanism you have to provide the trade data, or you can say the process of manufacturing, etc. All these data you have to provide. They have given some 1,000 areas, or you can say 1,000 data points which you have to provide. Okay, so in that 1,000 data points you have to provide the details of manufacturing processes, etc., wherein they can decide that if it is carbon intensive or not, or if it is going for any kind of carbon emissions or not. Okay, so considering that, India is saying that if we give such data to another country, that is basically harm the interest of exporters, because when you are talking about this particular data, you are basically talking about the manufacturing processes. Okay, and every company who is in any kind of business, they try to keep some kind of research and development so that they can be more competitive. Okay, so they can actually go for some kind of research, they can employ it in their manufacturing process so that it becomes less costly. Okay, and you can say this technology, etc., are quite important for the manufacturing units to become to be the competitive player in the market. Okay, so now the thing is, if European Union is asking for such data, they might get all these trade secrets. Okay, trade secrets means here that if there is something which is making a manufacturing process more competitive, or you can say some kind of advantage is there because of their R&D or because of their spending. Okay, so such things form part of that trade secret. any company or any business would not want to give it away. Okay, and now you are asking for such 1,000 data points, which will ultimately aiming that our export can decline. The thing is, they are trying to make their own manufacturing capacity larger, or they are trying to enhance their manufacturing capacity. With such data, they can do it in a better way. Okay, so ultimately it will harm the interest of the countries which are exporting to European Union. Okay, so that is why India has raised some flag. So let's have the look at the article. Okay, so Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, world's first system that impose carbon emission tariff on iron, steel, aluminium and cement among others. Okay, so they are saying that initially they will go for these 4, 5, 6 areas, and then they will go for the entire basket of the exports. Okay, so as of now they are saying that only for iron, steel, aluminium and cement they will be checking the process with that 1,000 points they are asking for. Okay, and India is saying that that is against our interest. While the CBAM is set to come into effect from 2026, as I told you, this tax is to be imposed from 2026. Okay, the transition period requiring exporters to submit data to EU authorities began in October 1, 2023. So since October they are asking for this thing, they are saying that you have to provide this data. Okay, 1,000 data points and the method used in the production by exporters. Okay, so that are the details they are asking for. Now, while the EU says data collection is aimed at ascertaining carbon emissions, Indian exporters fears losing competitive edge by revealing such crucial information. As I told you, they are saying that we want to know if your manufacturing process is carbon intensive or not. Okay, but or you can say exporter from India, they are saying that this is basically somehow hurt our interest, which we have discussed that these are trade secrets which we would not want to reveal. Okay, India export over 15% of total goods export to EU, which we have discussed, and this is amounting to 75 billion to EU in the last year, or you can say 2022 to 2023. Okay, slowing this year due to weakening demands, because you know that overall when we are talking about the global economy, there is a reduction in demand. Other than that, there are some hurdles to the economy with respect to all the geopolitical conflicts which are going on. Other than that, whatever chaos is going on at our important sea trade routes. Okay, so that is why that export is declining. Okay, it is having a bearing on the export of textile and agricultural products which we are sending to European Union. Okay, so other countries which are flagging the similar issue is Argentina, Brazil, Taiwan, Thailand. Okay, all these countries are saying that they are having this similar concern related to the data privacy. They do not want to share their manufacturing data with any country, or you can say block of countries that like European Union. Okay, there are opinions which are saying that it is aim to revive the manufacturing in its territory and wipe out the trade deficit with the developing countries like India and China. As I told you, they are trying to enhance their own manufacturing capacity so that they can decline or decrease the trade deficit they are having with India and China. Okay, question has been raised at WTO, simultaneously looking for the concession. India has gone to the WTO. They have said that we are having concern with the CBAM mechanism, and other than that, they are asking for some kind of concession as well. Okay, so negotiations with EU are primarily happening through the Trade and Technology Council. Okay, so this Trade and Technology Council, that is a unique phenomena which they have with USA only as of now, and now they have it with India as well. Okay, so basically this Trade and Technology Council, European Union has it with two countries, that is India and USA. So you can see that how India is a significant partner for European Union as well. Okay, so they are saying that they are going for some kind of negotiation at this particular platform. Now the government official said that while EU has agreed to include the solution regarding CBAM in the free trade agreement under negotiation, however, the final contour of the same have not been agreed upon yet. Okay, so this free trade agreement with European Union has been in negotiations for a long while now. They are saying that we will include this as a part of this particular negotiation, this issue of CBAM. But the thing is, these negotiation has been going on for a long time now. Okay, including these to this FTA, we might say that it will take even more time, and the deadline they have given is 20 2026. Okay, so that is why that is one concern here. FTA is a legal document which we are seeking various kind of relief, including a longer transition timeline concession for MSMEs. Okay, so under this FTA we are asking for some kind of concessions as well. Okay, as I told you, European Union, or as a matter of fact all the countries right now, even USA etc., they are going inward looking right now. Okay, so because of which even countries like India are trying to get some kind of concession from them. So this free trade agreement is a legal document on which negotiations are still on, and we are trying to get as much concession we can get from these negotiations. Okay, here every company has a process or process improvement engineer. Their job is to look for the ways to make each process cost effective. As I told you, every company spends some money or R&D in this particular area, that is cost, making a manufacturing process cost effective. Okay, so that can be more competitive than the rival companies. Okay, so that is basically, that's some kind of process which they are working on. That process form part of your trade secret. With the CBM data requirement, this could come out. Okay, so if you are asking for those data, so this trade secret would come out. That would end the competitiveness Indian exporters have. Okay, data collection by the European Union via an auditor also poses significant risk of trade secret becoming compromised. Okay, so this is our concern. Overall, we are talking about here one thing, that European Union has come up with this carbon CBAM, carbon carbon tax. Okay, so in this particular mechanism, what they are doing is they are asking for all the countries to pay some kind of tariff or the tax if they are carbon intensive. Okay, so before letting all those import inside their country, they are trying to have, or you can say they are trying to scrutinize the processes which various countries are adopting to go for any kind of manufacturing. They are saying that you have to share some data with us, and that data includes some manufacturing data as well. Okay, manufacturing process data as well. And countries like India are saying that if we give you that data, our trade secret might come out to you, and that will make our trade less competitive. And as you are trying to make your own manufacturing capacity or enhance your own manufacturing capacity, you might take those data, okay, or you might use those data. So that is why there has been a concern, and India has gone to WTO regarding that. Other than India, Argentina, Thailand, etc., all these countries which we have discussed, Argentina, Brazil, Thailand, etc., Taiwan, they have gone to WTO regarding these concerns. Okay, so that is about European Union's carbon tax. Okay, now moving further, much of plastics come from bottle, filter membrane used to keep out other contaminant, or you can say other kind of pollutants or minerals. Okay, so basically here they are talking about the water bottles which we are using. These water bottles, they are saying that they are having some kind of nanoparticles or nanoplastic. Okay, we have talked about this microplastic, etc. We know that there are this nanoplastic which is there, but we did not know to what extent. Okay, so this particular recent study which is saying that they have a huge extent into it, nearly 1,10,000 to 4 lakh per liter. That is the amount of nanoplastic which is available in this particular water bottles. Okay, so that can be detrimental for our health. Okay, if you want to give a read to this particular article, you can give, but the thing is here they are only important thing for our exam is that even in these bottles, etc., we have this nanoplastic which is detrimental for our health. Okay, the important thing here is what is nanoplastic, okay, and what is this unit microplastic, nanoplastic. Okay, so we will talk about that. Other than that, let's have a look at the article. Average liter of bottled water has nearly 250,000 invisible pieces of ever so tiny nanoparticles detected and categorized for the first time by a microscope with dual lasers. Okay, that is not important for you. You don't have to remember that. Only thing you can remember here is that much of the plastic comes from water bottle only. Okay, so that is one thing. Other than that, there were lot of these microplastic pieces and never knew how many of them or what kind of plastic is present in this bottle. We knew that since it is a bottle, it will degrade slowly and there will be these nanoparticles over there or nanoplastic inside this water bottle, but we did not know the extent or the kind of these nanoplastics. Okay, with this survey it has come out, with this study it has come out, they are saying that there are 1 lakh to nearly 4 lakh nanoparticles per liter inside this bottle. Okay, and averaging around 2,40,000. Okay, so now if we are talking about the size data, you can see here Okay, we will discuss it in the next slide, but if you want to read, you can read. Plastic seems to be coming from bottle itself and the reverse osmosis membrane filter used to keep out the other contaminants. Okay, so basically there are two things. One is the bottle itself, and then they are using this plastic filter for your reverse osmosis. Okay, and because of this particular filter also they are getting this nanoplastics. Okay, still can't answer that are those nanoplastic pieces harmful to health. Okay, so this study does not provide any kind of insight on the effect of this particular plastics on your body, but the thing is, since we know that this is a common sense, this if this plastic accumulate inside our body, this is harmful only. Okay, we do know that they are getting into the tissues. Okay, that is tissues of mammals and the including people. The current research is looking at what they are doing in the cells. Okay, so there is a research going on that what they are doing inside the cell, but they are saying that is getting inside your tissues. Okay, so it is getting accumulated inside the human body. Okay, but what effect they will have, they will they are trying to find it out. Okay, so this is about this plastic, and there is plastic pollution related issues there. Plastic pollution, or more than 430 million tons of plastic. So this is a huge amount, 430 million ton of plastic produced annually. Okay, so this much plastic is produced annually, and we know that plastic sometimes it's non-degradable, and because of which this cause a threat to environment. Okay, and more to the marine ecosystem. Ultimately, all these plastic or etc which we throw outside and through their river courses etc, it gets inside the ocean water, and their marine ecosystem is getting hindered out of it. Okay, there are layers becoming which is formed on the ocean area, and other than that, when we are talking about this fishes which are eating these plastics, other than that, when this plastic degrades into smaller pieces that get accumulated inside these fishes etc, so that is the concern related to plastic pollution. Okay, so let's have a look at the this important point from the study. Each liter of bottled water contains 1 lakh to 3,70,000. Here different sources are saying different things, but in the newspaper they are saying that nearly 4 lakh. So you can remember from 1 lakh to 4 lakh. Okay, and averaging about 2.5 lakh. And about 90% of them are nano-sized. Nano-sized is like as the size of nanoparticle, or we will also have a look at the scale of nanoparticles. Okay, these nanoparticles or nanoplastics are even smaller than the microplastics. Microplastics is basically your 10 raised to power minus 6 level. Okay, and when we are talking about nanoplastic, it is even lesser than that. Okay, then pose a greater risk to human health. Unlike microplastic ranging between 5 millimeters and 1 micrometer, nanoplastics can move from the intestine and lungs directly into the bloodstream before reaching the heart and brains. So basically they are saying that nanoplastics are so small that they will get inside your bloodstream, and other than that, even the brain cells. Okay, so that ultimately harms the human health. So that is important concerns related to this thing. This raises concerns over the potential health impacts. Okay, now let's have a look at the size related aspects of it. Okay, when we are talking about this microplastic, as I told you, this is 10 raised to power minus 6, or even little bit lesser than that. Okay, so that is one thing. Here you can see, this is when we are talking about in terms of meter, so that is the length of baseball bat, that is a meter. Then when we are talking about millimeters, and then we comes to the micrometer. Okay, micrometer is basically your 10 raised to power minus 6, which is basically you can say size of your bacteria, or okay, so these bacteria which is most of the time not visible from our naked eyes. Other than that, 10 raised to power minus 5 is the size of your hair, the thickness of hair if we talk about. Okay, so we can say that how these nanoplastics or the microplastics are even smaller than that. So the thickness of these microplastics is in micrometers, that is 10 raised to power minus 6, and then when we are talking about nanometer, that is 10 raised to power minus 9. Okay, and then when we are talking about the range of nanoplastics, so this range is between 10 raised to power minus 6 to 10 raised to power minus 9. Okay, so you can say that anything which is of your size of your DNA strands or the thickness of your DNA strand is basically, we are talking about here, nanoplastics are of that particular size. Okay, that is 10 raised to power minus 6 to 10 raised to power minus 9, that is the thickness of these particular nanoplastics. Okay, let's have a look at the definition stricter. Nanoplastics are the tiny particles, okay, plastic particles that have dimensions at the nanoscale, typically measuring less than 100 nanometers in size. Okay, if you can remember this data, well and good. If not, then you can use this particular data, or you can use such diagrams to actually, you know, give an idea about the size. That is, it is even less than the hair thickness of the hair strands. Okay, these particles can result from the degradation of or the fragmentation of larger plastic items, or intentional manufacturing at the nanoscale for specific applications. Okay, so either we can go for artificially manufacturing of these nanoplastics. Other than that, if we are going through the process of degradation or the fragmentation, which happens over time, which will generate nanoplastics. Okay, ultimately that is harming our health. Now, so there was this picture which was in the Indian Express, indigenous UAV. Okay, unmanned aerial vehicle. Okay, so you can say mostly some kind of drones. Okay, but it is a little different than that. Adani Defense and Aerospace, as I told you, now we are moving towards private sector's participation in defense technology or defense manufacturing. Okay, so with that respect, here we are talking about Adani Defense and Aerospace has come up with this indigenously manufactured Drishti 10 Starline. It is a UAV, that is unmanned aerial vehicle. Okay, that is given to Navy. So much more details are not given here in the newspaper, so you can just remember the name as of now. Okay, now moving further, in the polity we have discussed about this status, minority institution status to Aligarh Muslim University, and this case is in Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has raised one question here. Okay, they have not provided their judgment, so we will talk, wait for that for the full discussion. But as of now, they are asking one thing: for treating an educational institution as administered by minority, should the controlling voice in the administration not be of minority? They are saying that if we are considering any minority institution, should there not be a case that minority community should have a majority of voice over there? Okay, other than that, they are saying that, or could it be the position in the constitutional law that even if the controlling voice in the administration is not of the minority, even if the majority is not that particular, or when we are talking about the administration, that majority of people in the administration are not from the minority community, in that case can it be a minority institution? So basically that is the question, ki what should be the composition of administrative bodies? Okay, when we are talking about a character of this minority institution, what should be the composition of administration bodies, who should have the majority and minority over there? Okay, so that question has been raised by Supreme Court, yet they are not came with any kind of conclusion. So we will have a look at it in the future when this judgment comes. Now then there is this issue related to organ transplant. Okay, so there was this one case wherein a person, or the a retired person from Indian Air Force, okay, he was diagnosed with the kidney failure and he wanted a transplant, but he did not have any kind of close relative. Okay, and because of which he went to the High Court, and he has filed a petition. But by the time High Court has asked a particular authorization body to consider the case, but meanwhile that person dies. Okay, so now High Court has come up with some guidelines. We will talk about that. High Court is saying that you have to fix timeline for every process. Here, because that authorization body has, or the authorization committee has taken more time, because of which this particular issue happened. Okay, so now that is High Court is saying that you should have a particular timeline, and they have directed the government to take relative steps regarding the act and the rules. Okay, so here 6 to 8 weeks to complete the process of transplanting organs from living donor. Okay, if you are talking about this particular act, when we are talking about this transplantation of human organs and tissues act, this act is of 1994. Okay, so this particular act is talking about the tissue and organ transplantation in the living person, as well as that organ donation after the death. Okay, So other than that, there are these rules for such transfer. Okay, so High Court has said that there should be a fixed timeline of 6 to 8 weeks. In 6 to 8 weeks, the process of transfer of the organ should be complete. Okay, because it is matter of life and death. That is why there should be a timeline here. They have said that prolonged delay can cause mental and physical anguish for donor, recipient as well as their families. Okay, then timeline under that such acts, that is Act of 1994 and rules of 2014, okay, are prescribed for all steps in the process of considering organ donation applications. Okay, so they are saying that there should be a timeline for every process over there. Okay, Act of 1994, this act talks about, as I told you, transfer of your tissues and organs in the living body, and when we are talking about organ donations in the after the death. Okay, so all these two criteria they are actually looking into. And then there is one thing that act is saying, that donation should be for your altruistic donation, like there should not be any kind of monetary consideration. Okay, like you cannot buy an organ. Okay, so ultimately if there is a donor, that donor donor should be donating for the love they have, for the relations they have, and not for any kind of monetary consideration. Okay, so that act talks about that as well. So when we are talking about this close relatives, okay, so they are talking about parents, siblings, children, spouse, grandparents, okay, and grandchildren. Okay, so these are the closest, you can say, relatives. Other than that, altruistic donation from distant relatives is also allowed. In-laws and long-term friend is also allowed, but on the consideration of or the approval of the authorization committee. Okay, so there would be a committee which will authorize it, and then only such transfer can happen. Okay, so for that there should be an additional scrutiny. Okay, and then there is this authorization committee. That authorization committee basically provide for some kind of check, and they will decide that they should go ahead with the transfer or not. Okay, in that case, as I told you, that person died, and because of which these guidelines has come. Okay, the court ruled that everything from conducting interviews to the to processing form and decision making to be done within the fixed timeline. They have said that after the first meeting is convened of the authorization committee, okay, you should take 24 hours to arrive at a decision. Okay, other than that, they are saying that 6 to 8 weeks should be taken for the transfer from the date of application. Okay, these two things they have told government to incorporate. Okay, and these are the direction from the High Court. Now moving further, international affairs, when we are talking about, okay, this Blinken's seek Palestinian governance reform for post-war Gaza. Israeli strikes continue. So Israel is doing the same thing which they are doing earlier from the last 3 months, but now there is this one thing which US is basically saying that they are going for a tangible steps for the peace after, or the, you can say, process of administration after this issue is resolved. Okay, but now they are saying that they are considering this Palestinian state. Okay, so they are saying that we are seeking Palestinian governance reforms post-war Gaza as Israel's strikes continue. Okay, so here we say reforming the Palestinian self-rule government. Okay, post-war plans for Gaza, including concrete step forward towards a Palestinian state. So now USA is saying that they are moving towards Palestinian state. Okay, so that is one thing. They have started to talk with all the neighboring countries as well. Okay, now Palestinian Authority, okay, this particular authority is there, which is kind of taking care of the administration in the areas where Palestinians are living. Okay, so this Palestinian Authority is recognized by the USA as well, but the thing is now they have this you can say lesser trust of people. Okay, because it is recognized by USA. So that is one thing. Other than that, Israel might not get agree for this particular two-state solution as of now. Okay, so that is another thing which is kind of a issue over here. Okay, other than that, USA is trying to go forward with the some local self-government in the Palestinian areas, and Palestinian Authority is saying that Israel should not interfere now in this particular administration. Okay, rebuilding and governing Gaza after Israel's war against Hamas. Wider Israeli-Arab normalization is is still possible, but only if there is a pathway to Palestinian state. Okay, so there was this Israeli Arab normalization which was about to happen. There was this peace, or you can say agreement, which was to be signed between Saudi Arabia and Israel, but then ultimately because of this Hamas attack, that could not happen. But we are of the opinion that it could still there is a possibility that it could still happen, but the thing is that can only happen after the they consider the Palestinian state. Okay, Israel must stop undercutting the Palestinians' ability to govern themselves with the expansion of the settlements, home demolitions, and the evictions in the West Bank. So they are saying that Israel should stop that. Second thing is Israel should not interfere in the local governance. Okay, Palestinian Authority has a responsibility to reform itself to improve the governance that has been set by the USA. Okay, so there are some obstacles, as I told you. Israel might not agree for it, and this Western-backed Palestinian leadership, that is Palestinian Authority, whose forces were driven from the Gaza when Hamas took control in 2017. Okay, so when 2007, when Hamas came to this particular Gaza Strip, they have removed this particular West-backed Palestinian Authority, or the local governance which was there. Okay, so that is one thing. Palestinian Authority has been powerless to prevent the expansion of the settlement in the occupied territory of West Bank. The war in the Gaza is still raging with no end in sight. Okay, so that is one thing. Other than that, we know that there is second front war that is started at the Lebanon border with the Hezbollah. Okay, so that is about this article. So there is this new development, that is now USA is also trying to go for Palestinian state. Okay, so that is a step towards Palestinian state. Now, when we are talking about this Maldives issue, okay, there are 3-4 considerations. For Maldives, we are also important, and for us, Maldives is important. Okay, so we will see how these are important for each other. We know that there has been some issues with respect to when we are talking about social media. There was this issue of PM's photo on social media, and 3 ministers from Maldives has commented over here. Okay, and they have made some kind of derogatory comment, because of which our social media warriors has responded. Okay, and because of which tension actually rised. Okay, other than that, when we are talking about this change in regime in Maldives, because of which we are saying that Maldives is going away from the influence of India, because the current president over here, that is Mr. Mohammed Moizu. So basically he is having some kind of inclination towards China. Okay, right now when we are talking about he is in China, and they have signed some 20 pacts over there. Okay, other than that, he has asked for removing of Indian military personnel which are deployed there, and they have taken a step back from the hydrological survey. They have said that they will not renew it. So those things are kind of, you can say, increasing the tension between India and Maldives. Okay, so here in this article they have said that what is at the stake. Okay, so the diplomatic and the political relations which has been made over years is on the stake. Okay, so there has been this after the British left this particular area in 1965, we had this friendly relations after that. Okay, and then in 2008 we have started this because there was this democratic transition in the Maldives, because of which our relations with Maldives also improved, because when there is a democracy, okay, that act as a shared value. Okay, so on the basis of which our relations improve with Maldives at that particular point of time. Okay, so now all those networking, all those relations, all those people to people ties, cultural ties, infrastructure, all these things are basically at stake if these relations between these two countries goes worse. Okay, now the second important question is, why does India need Maldives? Okay, so that is simple, because of the strategic location. Okay, and second thing is our relations with Maldives. Okay, here you can see location and the maritime security. Maldives is located at a very strategic location in the Indian Ocean region. Okay, that is on the lines of communication, or you can say that is on the navigation channels or the trade route. Okay, because of which security of Maldives, or you can say our influence on the Maldives, is quite important for us. Okay, considering the you can say security of maritime security of the area. Okay, so that is one thing, strategic location and the maritime security. Other than that, when we are talking about defense, Okay, so 70% of the Maldives defense training is done by India. So we have this defense ties as well, because Maldives is a small country, okay, and they don't have much resources. They have their economy dependent on the tourism, okay, on the basis of which, and since our ties with Maldives has been good, we have started giving training to Maldivian security personnel in India. Okay, so that is, we have this some kind of security related you can say cooperation with Maldives. Other than that, we have given helicopters or choppers to the Maldives and given training for people or the personnel over there to go for a vertical landing on the island. All these things India has done for the security of Maldives. Okay, so that is another criteria, that is defense. And then China factor. Obviously, in the last 15-20 years, China has made their way inside the island nation. Okay, China is trying to give some kind of investment, infrastructure projects over there, loans, etc. Because of which we have seen that there is this inclination towards China in the recent years. Basically in the recent presidency. Okay, before that we had good relations. Okay, and even before that, then when there was the tenure of this Abdullah Yamin and Mohammad Nasheed. So at that their tenure as well, they are quite inclined towards China. Okay, now this incumbent president is trying to do the same thing. Okay, they are quite close when we are talking about this BRI initiative. Okay, so all these things suggest that the influence of China is raising in this particular area, which is not in India's favor. Okay, when we are talking about the maritime security or China's aggression in this area, when we are talking about a string of pearls, for all those things, that is not a good sign for us. Okay, so we are trying to check China's influence in this particular area. So that is why, that is another factor. And now the third question is, why Maldives needs India? Now when we are talking about, this is our need for Maldives, because Maldives is at a strategic location. Okay, why is that Maldives needs us? Okay, Maldives is a small island nation. They don't have that well developed economy, and then there is this thing that that there are issues related to connectivity. It is an island nation, and there are various small islands in that particular area. So they are dependent on India for their daily needs as well. Okay, like you can say drinking water, and if you are talking about the food. Okay, so for all that also they are dependent on India. Here we can say that in everyday essentials, rice, spices, fruit, vegetables, poultry, etc. are sent by India. Everything possible which is edible, which is sent by India, other than the seafood, because they obviously have that. Okay, and then everyday medicine, all the medicine requirement, or you can say even the hospital facilities over there, are made by India. Okay, other than that, when we are talking about these medicines, when we are talking about those crucial medicines, when we are talking about the COVID time, all these things which we have provided help to Maldives, and for all these health infrastructure, Maldives is dependent on India. Okay, so that is another thing. When we are talking about education, Maldives does not have any kind of big educational institution. So most of the students for their higher education comes to India. Okay, India is even providing for scholarship. Okay, so that is why also India is important for Maldives. Other than that, economic dependence, as I told you, there is their economy is not well developed, and they are dependent on us. Total 50 crore, you can say, we have this trade of 50 crore rupees. Okay, and out of which 49 crore are basically India's export to Maldives. Okay, so India is having a surplus with Maldives, so that is why you can say that Maldives is having an economic dependence on India as well. Okay, then help during disaster. When we are talking about the tsunami which has come in 2004, and then in 2014 when there was this drinking water crisis. Okay, the desalination plant over there stopped working because of some reason. Then we have airlifted water from India to Maldives. Okay, so for such disaster also India has given help. Other than that, when we are talking about COVID, we have provided medicine, mask, or the this PPE kit, etc., which has been sent to Maldives. For that also Maldives is kind of dependent on India. Second thing is, Maldives is a nation which is island nation, which is having a threat of sea level rise, and because of which it might get extinct as well. And that is why the closest territory, which is India, is quite important for them as well. So all these are disaster related issues for which Maldives is dependent on India. Then security provider. When we are talking about this Indian Ocean region, India is first responder. Okay. Other than that, when we are talking about the domestic politics of Maldives, which has been in turbulence for a while, and in 1988 there was a coup. Okay, or you can say there was a coup attempt against the president at that particular time. His name was Abdul Gayoom. Okay, India has sent forces to suppress that particular coup. Okay, and other than that, we have this joint exercise in this area. We have this issue of maritime security. For all these reasons, Maldives is also dependent on India. Okay, so considering that all this independence, we should not go for any kind of acceleration in the tensions. Both the nations should understand each other's requirement and then they should act accordingly. Okay, so that is about this particular article. Now moving further, Yemen's Houthi launched largest Red Sea strike. Okay, that has been happening in this area for a while. I just wanted to give a passing reference that this is again happening, and now UNSC is to vote on the issue. Okay, so USA has drafted a resolution on which UNSC will vote, which we have discussed in the previous section, previous lecture as well, that they are planning for the UNSC vote. USA has given this warning and the concern as well that if UNSC does not do anything about it, they will take a military action. Okay, so that is about this particular thing. Now, as I told you, Maldives is in president is in China, and they are trying to go for this particular pacts. There are 20 pacts they are trying. Other than that, they are seeking cooperation on the Belt and Road Initiative, and we can say that first state visit is to China. Earlier, it used to be to India, but now in the incumbent presidency, they have decided to go to China. Okay, so that is about the current development. Other than that, when we are talking about this particular article, you don't have to read all this article. Just remember one name, that is Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoological Park. Okay, so that zoological park, or popularly known as Darjeeling Zoo. Okay, so there is this snow leopard population which is on the rise, and you can say that world's largest number of snow leopard is in captivity in this particular area. Okay, so there are 14 snow leopard. Okay, and there was this you can say conservative or conservation breeding exercise or program which was there for this snow leopard. Other than snow leopard, it is for your pandas. Okay, it is also there. Okay, so that is about this particular article. You just have to remember this particular location, that is Darjeeling Zoo or Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoological Park. Okay, so that much you have to remember from this particular article. It is famous for snow leopards. Okay, now for your read, there is this article, how Republic Day tableau are selected. So basically we have talked about this thing that Delhi and Punjab's tableau has been rejected by the government in the 26th January or the Republic Day's parade. Okay, with that regard, this particular article was in news. So for your own interest, you can give it a read. Okay, that how these tableaus are selected. Now moving to the practice question. Which of the following statement accurately describe the geographical location of Maldives with respect to India? A. Maldives is located southeast of India in the Bay of Bengal. Maldives is situated southwest of India in the Arabian Sea. C. Maldives is directly south of India in the Bay of Bengal. Maldives is west of India, separated by Gulf of Mannar. Okay, so that is related to the location of Maldives. You have to attempt this question and answer in the comment box. Okay, moving further, for your mains practice question, explain the significant aspect of the mutual dependency between India and Maldives and how it contributes to their diplomatic and economic ties. Provide specific examples to support your explanation. So basically this, as I told you, that article which we have taken would act as a proper answer or a proper content for India-Maldives relations. That is basically answer of this particular question. You can go make note out of it and then put it into an answer form. Okay. And considering the mains question which was given to you in the last class with respect to the Manipur issue, how has the recent political unrest in Manipur impacted the region's socio-political landscape, and what measures are being considered to address the underlying issue causing the unrest? Okay, so basically we could not discuss this yesterday, so that is why I am doing it today. So here they are talking about political unrest, so we can talk about the issue which is going over there, that is violence and law and order. Okay, in that regard, you can also go for the little bit explanation of the geography of this particular area of Manipur. Then socio-political landscape over there. Okay, when we are talking about socio-political landscape, you have to talk about the political representation. Okay, then you have to talk about the society over there, or you can say demography over there. We have discussed the issue of developmental disparity. You can also discuss that. Okay, We have discussed that how the 10% of geographical area is inhabiting a population of nearly 45%, and then this area is well developed because of the good political representation, okay, and the developmental activities are also good in the valley area. All these things you can address in this particular thing, okay. When we are talking about society here, you can also you should talk about this ethnic differences over there, okay. So all these ethnic differences you can talk about, and that is the main reason behind. There are two main reasons, that is the ethnic reason, and then there is this developmental disparity, okay. So all these two reasons you can talk about over here. So there are nearly 1 2 3 4 5 points you can discuss over here, and then what measures are being considered to address the underlying issue, okay. So now what is government doing is that they are trying to suppress the violence first. Second thing is, High Court has given direction towards the ST status. Now government is saying that they will review it with the help of all the stakeholders. They will make a committee. Second, other than that, they are going for the infrastructure development, okay. Other than that, most important thing which has to be done here is that trust development, okay, or the trust making, trust building, you can say, okay. So government should go for the trust building. All these things you can discuss, and then in a conclusion you should start with some kind of immediate measures that should be taken, and then the long term measures, okay. That long term measures basically is your trust development or the trust building between the communities and the state, okay. So that is the kind of, you can say, good conclusion for this particular matter. So we have discussed this question as well. With that, I would like to wrap up the session. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.